everybody. So I ran and took Shania to get some food, and then came back to hurry up and rush with the show. And I hope you have me on again, okay?
Absolutely. You know you're more than welcome to come. Man, we appreciate you. I know you had to do all of these things to make adjustments to come. Let me tell you something. I'm so excited that you're here. Thank you for allowing us to be graced with your presence, your wisdom today, cuz. I mean, I'm not going to hold you too long because I know you got
let's go. Just let's talk and then have me on again because we need each other. You've been really blowing up, man. Your show is really the bomb. I'm serious. I'm really proud of you, man. I'm serious. Let me get on your show. Let me get on that show.
Appreciate it. You know you're more than welcome anytime. Thank you so much for it. And the only reason the show is blowing up, well, no, it's several reasons. But one of the reasons why my show is, as you call it, the bomb, is because I have one of the strongest support systems on YouTube. And I know that people don't point them out all the time. And I'm talking about the people that's in the chat. I'm talking about the people that come here daily, the people that subscribe to the channel, the Roller Tape Film crew members, those that watch the show, whether they agree with me or not. I have a strong support system on YouTube, and that's
your loyal fans.
That's one of the reasons why I'm blowing up. It's not just me; it's the people that support me in the comment sections. It's people that come over here over and over again, and I appreciate them. So double salute to everybody that's watching.
No, it's a reason why, Marty. It's because of the way you are. It's the way you are. That's why you got them following you. You got to give yourself credit. It's the way. That's why they following you. You come up with you come up with them good stories. You know a lot of good people, and you're honest. And I'm not saying that because we family. I'm just saying that because you run your show the proper way, and that's why you got your followers. You do the right things, and you're gonna have a lot of friends following you and everything.
Yes, sir.
And I'm proud. I'll be seeing your show. I'll be like jealous, man. I'm gonna kick mine back on. I'll be like, whoa, he really got it going on. That's right.
Yo, man. I appreciate it. It means a lot. Means a lot coming from you, champ. And
okay.
And let me tell you something, man. Let's start this off the right way, cause you done got me hyped, giving me all these flowers, man.
Yo, man, I be seeing your shows and stuff. I'll be like, whoa. You know, we was doing our podcast. We did a couple of podcasts together, and now I'm just me and whenever you already started. But what's happening now is that I had a podcast that I was coming on every Friday, but things didn't work out right. And so I said, you know what? And in the very beginning, Marty, I wanted to get some of the former fighters together and start a podcast. You know, the forgotten soldiers, but we are called the Raiders of Boxing. And what happened was we was in Don King's camp real quick. We was in Don King camp. Alfonso Ratliff. Let me see. It was a lot of boxers in there. Zuma Nelson. I'm trying to get some of the names. There was a lot of boxers that we was in the camp, and Friday was payday, and everybody a lot of people get paid, but I was champ and I had money. Michael Dokes, a whole bunch of boxers. So I get paid. So Don King's son, his stepson, Carl King, he's supposed to bring the checks to the guys. So everybody waiting at the camp. It was in Orwell, Ohio. Everybody waiting in the camp for their money. So Carl King never showed up. So everybody was mad. So we got like about 4 or 5 cars and drove around. This is in Orwell, Ohio, and they lived about 3 miles away. So we all in the car, mad. Everybody mad. I'm not that mad because I want to collect the money that I lend to some of the boxers. Ain't that something? We in the camp, and they got to borrow money from somebody. So we rode around there to Don King's complex, and beautiful, big place.
He had the big mansion out there.
Big mansion, and Carl King lived on the same area. It was beautiful, and Carl King's house. So we went to Carl King's house, and they started knocking on the door. Hey, Carl, you know. And we was on the door for about 5-10 minutes. They was knocking on the door, walking around the other side, and then all of a sudden. They said, man, let's go. So when we started to leave, somebody saw the blinds open. And then they started knocking on the door even more. Yo, man, come on. So they all got mad. We all got in our cars and drove back around to the Don King's training camp, beautiful camp. Everybody was mad. So they started breaking up windows out, shooting. Mitch Blood Green was there. Everybody, Blood Green, Dwight Davison. They started shooting up and wrecking the camp up. So Don King heard about us wrecking the camp up, right? And when he came home, he came through.
They had real shotguns and guns, you said the last time.
Yeah, Mitch Green had a double barrel shotgun. Everybody else, because they go in the back. We go chop wood at. Everybody go back and just shoot guns at the trees. They be doing target practice.
Now, why was they doing that? Why was they shooting up the?
They was angry. They was angry because Carl King didn't pay them, give them their pay, and they was mad. And I was like kind of upset. No, I wasn't upset, but I was going to get the money that I loaned to some of the boxers because I had a little bit of money. So they was angry because Carl didn't. They seen the blinds open. They knew somebody was in there. They drove back to the camp. They started throwing a can, like stuff through the window. They broke the windows. Don King flew in. He got rid of, out of 30 people, he got rid of like about 12 to 15. He was like, we had to walk into his office and one by one get hey, he had to get me. He had to get this guy. The next guy said, next guy, send the next guy in. Then when I came in, he said, I'm disappointed in you. He said, I'm disappointed in you, man. He said, you get out of here, So, yeah, he cut everybody money off. And so when that was over, Abdul Rahman, who is Muhammad Ali's it was his security guard. Abdul Rahman was also Louis Farrakhan's brother-in-law. And he was there because he was keeping some of the Muslim brothers from messing with Don King. So Abdul was a big man. He used to look out for all of us. He used to tell us everything. Like if something go down, he would say, man, y'all do this, man. Don't do this. He was like an infiltrator. He passed away. But he gave us the name the Raiders of Boxing because we shot the camp up. We rebelled against Don King. A lot of people don't know about this, that what happened, but a lot of them do. So we trying to get a podcast with all the former boxers that shot the camp up. And when I was fighting, I was wearing the Raiders of Boxing on my trunks. And we had shirts, we had hats, and we kind of like not liberated, but it was like we felt good that we did that because we was being mistreated. But I'm gonna let you go. But right now, I love everybody. I love Don King. I love his family, but I don't like what they did to us. In order for me to go on with my life, I gotta leave that other stuff alone. You can't keep it on your head. Keep it bothering you. Keep it following you. I let it go. So now I'm okay. I'm right here talking to my family. I'm talking to the people on your podcast. So that's when you see the Raiders of Boxing, there were a lot of the boxers that shot Don King's up, wrecked it up. And Abdul Rahman, who was a really, everybody knew him, he gave us that name. So that's some good history right there.
Yes, it is. And y'all
so the podcast you're gonna see us, all the Raiders getting on there. Go ahead, Marty. I'm sorry.
No. I want to make sure that the audience understand clearly of what you were saying, that the Raiders of Boxing, all of you guys that's still alive and still, moving forward with life, y'all going to try to put something together so that y'all can provide wisdom and structure for all of the boxing fans. You know what I mean? So y'all going to put the podcast together. And if you want anything or need anything from me and my audience, we're right there and we got your back. We'll help you.
We collaborate anytime you want. Because I know you're a good brother, good family member, and I know you're doing a hell of a job. I'm really proud of you. And I'll come on, and you can have some of the boxers come on that we had,
we had
on the group.
We love all the boxers that was a part of the Raiders of Boxing back then. Some of them, like you talked about, they were mistreated back then.
Yes.
I'm not trying to bring nothing bad back up. But the thing is, all of you guys who were in the Don King stable, y'all all had your own individual experiences, but some of it wasn't good experiences. Y'all didn't.
A lot of it wasn't.
A lot of it wasn't. You didn't get paid your just due. Before we get to that, because I want to play a small little clip, because I had brought up something to a guy, I know you know who he is, a guy named Rick Glaser. He was on here.
Oh, Rick. Rick.
Right? So I'm gonna play something for you so that you can hear me talking to him about how you guys were mistreated and underpaid. You know what I'm saying? Back then. And then I want you to give us your basically your experience. But before I do that, I want to introduce you to the audience. They just joined in. Most people know who you are, but we have some people, Cousin Tim, who may not know exactly who you are because they don't know about the business side of boxing. They may be just new 5, 6, 7 years learning about boxing on my channel. But at the same time, I want to bring them up to speed of who you are and the contributions that you made in the sport of boxing.
Okay.
Tell us, you were an outstanding tight end, all-American tight end from the great city, my city, our hometown, Philadelphia. What made you get into boxing when you were already a football standout? Let's start there.
Okay, real quick. I was playing sports as a young age: baseball, football, basketball. My main two sports was baseball and football. I made all Philadelphia. I was an all Philadelphia tight end. I had a 4-year scholarship to a college called Lincoln University of Missouri. I went to Lincoln University of Missouri. I started as a freshman, and I got hurt. And so I came home. I didn't realize the value of the education. It was a free education, 4 years paid, and I wasn't thinking, and I left it. I left it as a freshman. The average person like you would have stayed and got that education. So, my friend Keith Davis, he passed away. He was a tackle. He lived on the same block, and he passed away. But he was getting into conflict with these guys from Chicago when we was up there in Missouri, Jefferson City, Missouri. And so these guys, his family was going to come down to hurt us. They was in Chicago. They was driving on their way down. And so we contacted our parents. I did, and they sent us bus tickets to get out of there. And we just barely made it. We called back there, and they said, whoa, y'all just made it. Because Keith was in that conflict with his young brother, and they got in a conflict, and I think Keith hit him with a couple of shots. And so his people was on his way. So we just barely made it. Then I went home, and I was just there sitting around. I recovered and stuff. And then I bumped into Buster Drayton, who was junior middleweight champ, right in the same neighborhood. You know about Buster Drayton, Kenny Reese, Clinton Barnes. The list go on and on. And Kenny Reese was the one, and Buster Drayton is the one that really got us started. That's how I got started. They started talking about boxing, and I was like, okay, let me try it. It was just another sport, Marty. And I just went in there, and here's where I wound up today. I couldn't believe it.
The thing is, Tim, that helps you learn in boxing, which is different from what we're dealing with today. And I'm not trying to knock none of the trainers today.
Me either.
But a lot of trainers today, they don't have something that you were able to be blessed with, and that was a good trainer who taught you. See, we don't have teachers today in boxing. I mean, they got trainers that say, go give me 3 rounds on a heavy bag and be texting on their phone. Go give me 3 rounds on a speed bag. Do this, do that. But they don't teach the fighters today. I'm talking about in the modern day era. You know what I mean? What to do, why you should do it, how to do it, how to combat when another opponent is doing something to you. You were blessed with a trainer named Slim. Can you give us your experience of your trainer who taught you? I'm talking about taught you all of the little tricks and trades of the sport. How did you get in contact with your trainer Slim? Let's talk about him.
Okay, so the gym that we went to was the gym where Sylvester Stallone made the movie in South Philadelphia in the Italian market. Yeah, Rocky. Yeah, Sylvester Stallone. The movie was made right on the same block where the gym I started. It was called the Old Passion Gym. And Slim was there. So Slim was there. But Kenny Reese, when Kenny Reese took me to that gym, he took me to this trainer, Old Man Booker, who also Buster Drayton was with. We was amateurs and Kenny Reese. No, Kenny Reese was with Jimmy Arthur. But we went to that gym and we started training there. I didn't know nothing. That's when I didn't know nothing. I just came in. This is another sport. I'm going to try it. That kind of attitude. Never thought about being champion of the world. Never thought about amateurs. I just came in the gym. We started training. And Slim Jim Robinson was there. He was training Mike Rossman, the Jewish bomber. He became light heavyweight champion of the world because Slim taught him all the slick stuff. He was whipping everybody behind in that gym. He was whipping booty. So that's how I got started. I came home. I had to keep on doing sports because I was young. I wasn't out in the street fighting and gang warring and stuff like that. I went straight to the gym. Plus, I had older people that I had to respect, because they know that I was a good guy, and I just want to keep that legacy going on. I was a good guy. And I respect the brothers that was being bad. I know that they made bad decisions. I still love them too, and I wish they would just made a decision like I made. But I still love them, all that. So that's how I wound up. I had what, 5 amateur fights at 7, I think.
Yeah,
I lost to
7. Yeah, you had.
Yeah, I lost to Marvis Frazier. 7. Yeah, I lost to Marvis Frazier on my last amateur fight, but I lost my first amateur fight. And I fought a guy that was a 4-time Golden Glove champ. And I wonder, how did I get to fight a guy? Really, you're not supposed to be doing that. But back then, after he beat me, I had blood in my mouth. It was my first amateur fight. And then they told me later he was a 4-time. So what they try to do is just get him a fight. But they put me in there, and I didn't know. That's when I started learning after that, though, Marty. I started learning after that. Then I won 5 fights. Then I fought Joe Frazier's son, Marvis Frazier. I lost a close decision. And then I turned pro after that.
Ladies and gentlemen, members of the jury, members of the Roll the Tape film crew, yes, welcome to another edition, another episode of Roll the Tape podcast with Manager Marty. I am your host, Manager Marty. I'm excited to be here, as I always am. That was the great 2-time heavyweight champion of the world, Tim Witherspoon. Terrible Tim Witherspoon. I just wanted to play a little bit of that back, because sometimes in boxing we forget the history, the rich history of all the guys and the ladies who paved the way for our world champions and our competitors and contenders that we have in the sport of boxing today. And we don't want to forget none of our legends. All right. And so I just wanted to play back, that interview, and just to give us a quick reminder of not just Tim, but also the other great fighters, because the bottom line is we all should be fans of the sport of boxing. And we all have favorite fighters. I don't think there's nothing wrong with that at all. But at the same time, we got to understand that this sport is not just about one fighter. It's about all the fighters, all the great fighters, past, present, and even the ones that's going to become great in the future. And so I wanted to bring that reminder back to us on this platform today, to remember that we all love the sport of boxing, and it's not just about the fighters we see today, because we can't forget the ones that paved the way for the favorite fighters that some of you may have today. And so I wanted to give that a history lesson. They say this is the last day of Black History Month, right? Okay, I don't really subscribe to racial things, but at the same time, I just wanted to make sure that my first time coming back on live, since I haven't seen you all or heard from you all in a little bit, couple of days, I wanted to make sure we get a small little history lesson of the rich sport of boxing. Old school training, the teachers, like Slim Robinson, and Tim Witherspoon and Buster Drayton and all these guys and ladies, that made so many great contributions to this sport, man. And I just it was just placed on my heart to be able to do that. So I appreciate y'all patience with that. Some of y'all probably heard that in live time not too long ago when he came up. So I appreciate y'all. Double salute to all the members of the channel. Double salute to you. I see you. You are supervisors of the Roll the Tape film crew. Andre Noble, double salute to you. Aaron Muhammad, my guy, again, salute to you. We also got Andre Smith, salute to you. Double salute to all the members. Appreciate you, man. Who else we got in here? JSAR72, double salute to you. My man, Jeremy Austin, what's up? What's up? Double salute to you. Man, I got everybody in the chat. Everybody's in the chat. We're going to have a great show today. Oh, man, I just want to talk boxing. Man, I want to talk boxing today. I want to break down the business of boxing today. Yeah, I do. Yeah, we need answers. Yes, we do. Yeah, I left y'all with something. Hold on. Let me make sure. I want to make sure everybody can see what's going on. I just want to make sure everybody can see what kind of show we're going to have today. You know, I bring out my characters, right? Yeah. One of the things about this channel that's unique to us and what we do here is that we bring creativity. Sometimes we don't just think outside the box, we become the box. Yeah. So that's why I got 4 different characters that I use simultaneously to entertain you all, but to also provide education. You know what I mean? So that you won't get bored. And I break it down, or at least I try to break the business of boxing down to its lowest common denominator. And I appreciate everybody acknowledging me in the chat. I appreciate y'all. Y'all know if I see a content created in the chat, you know I'm going to, salute them. So salute to my guy, Philly's own Deem. Salute to Deem. Somebody asked me how do you get a triple salute? You get a triple salute by just supporting. That's all. You might get a triple salute when you start that Cash App. Yeah. Let me put that up there on the screen. That Cash App and supporting the channel through the super chat. Yeah, I'm gonna start giving out I appreciate that. There it is. I'm gonna start giving out triple salutes. Yeah, for those that make financial contributions to the channel. Yeah, that's how we gonna get triple salute started. I appreciate that. Biz on the beat, my guy. Double salute to him. Another member of the channel, supervisor of the Roll the Tape film crew. Man, I'm just so happy. I gotta show my face. Hold up. Yeah, we got to do this right. Yeah, we're not gonna do a town watch check-in today. Not today. Yeah, I want to go right in today. Yeah, I want to go right in. Hold on, let me see. Oh, let me make sure we good. Make sure we straight. There it is. Boom. Look, y'all know what character I am today. Y'all know what it is when I wear this. Y'all know what it is. Hey, that's where we at. That's what type of time we on. You know what I mean? Hey, listen, y'all. We're going to talk about Canelo Alvarez and the dispute that's going on with him and what's going on, because I done heard Oscar De La Hoya. He was in an interview, believe that was the day before yesterday. He was in an interview on the DAZN channel, and he actually said he has no idea. He don't know whether or not Canelo is fighting Berlanga. He said, as of today, no, he's not fighting him on May 4th. So we wanted to dispel that myth right away. Then I also heard an interview with, what's his name? Eddie Hearn. They asked him about signing Canelo Alvarez. You know, he said that's possible, but he never confirmed that DAZN nor Matchroom signed Canelo. But this is what we keep hearing. Is this what we keep hearing? That's all I'm saying. So, but we're going to talk about that. I want to put things in some proper context when we talk about what's going on with Canelo Alvarez. We're going to also talk about Devin Haney and Ryan Garcia, because the last time that y'all was up here with me when we were live, 2 Cents Boxing, she had asked a question, and the question was, hold on. Hold on. All right, hold on. Let me answer that. Hold on. Give me a minute, y'all. This is my mom, y'all. It's my mom. Hold on, please. Yes, Mom. I know, Mom. I was. Go ahead. I was going to say I'm in the middle of a show, Mom. The people hear me talking all, they all watching me live, Mom. They hear your voice, all kind of stuff, Mom. Oh, hello. Thank y'all for supporting my son. They can't hear you, Mom. Hold on before you get off. Tell the people, Mom, tell the people what you just said. They listening live and live in color right now. Oh, hello, everyone. I just want to thank all of y'all for supporting my son. Continue supporting him. He's a good guy. He get back to Philadelphia, not just the community, but Philadelphia as a whole. And he also travel help outside of Philadelphia, but most definitely he take it home, Philadelphia. So continue to support my son. Thank y'all. And y'all can all look me up. Comedian Shop Boogie G. Mom. You might get few tickets if you come and support my son. Yes. Okay. Thank you, son. I'll chat later. All right, Mom. My mom gonna put her own plug in for herself. She trying to promote her little local comedian tour. My mom a comedian, y'all. But anyway, come on, Mom. Come on my show that's Mom Duke, y'all. I stopped my show for Mom. You know what I mean? But anyway, where I was at, my mom done called me. What I was saying? Man, I forgot. Oh, man. What was I saying, y'all? My mom done called. Oh, man. Listen to all the ladies that's watching live and living color in the replay of the live. This is where I learned how to be a gentleman from. My mother. That's all I'm saying. Now, I was talking about, I said something about Canelo and then Ryan Garcia and Devin. Well, anyway, let me say this. Because some of y'all going to rewind this and be like, man, he lost his strength. Philly Fight Doctor, what's going on, brother? He said, you should roll the tape. I should roll the tape on myself. All right, so look, this is what I'm going to say. I wanted to break down the business of boxing based on what's going on with Canelo, right? Bam, I said that. But when it comes to Devin Haney and Ryan Garcia, I wanted to just say one thing about that and to give my reaction to the press conference that took place the day before yesterday, the one in New York. I think they're probably in LA now, but of course we're live and they started an hour ago, but I didn't have time to really, look at the press conference and all that because I'm here live. I had to set this stuff up. But anyway, talk about that. And then also I want to respond, if I may. We're not gonna hold you up too long on this, but Bernie the boxer, he had a comment that he made on the channel last night or yesterday, and I wanted to put it on the screen, and I wanted to respond to it. Yeah, I wanted to respond to it. Most of y'all probably know who he is. Bernie the boxer is one of the trainers of Terrence Crawford. I think he's close friends with Terrence Crawford. He's real close friends with Terrence Bud Crawford. He used to be a professional boxer himself, from what I was told. That's really all I know about Bernie the boxer. But I know that he's in the camp of Terrence Crawford. So I responded to his comments in the comment section on the video yesterday that I published, because I actually put his name in the @ You know how you @ somebody, the @ symbol? I put the @ symbol with his name on it because what it was is the video that I published, it was really, the title said Team Crawford, talking about the trainers and everything from Terrence Crawford's camp. You know what I mean? So he watched the video, Bernie the boxer watched the video, and he commented on the video. And then I commented to his comment. But the bottom line remains is that we need answers. And so hopefully, I wanted to give a little perspective on his comment and my comment as well. But that's in a little bit. I wanted to address Canelo Alvarez situation, because we've heard Rick Glaser say that Canelo Alvarez was going to leave PBC. PBC is broke. The ship has already sunk by Canelo leaving. This goes to prove that Al Heyman don't know what he's doing. This goes to prove that the PBC is a defunct company, and all these different things we've heard from Rick Glaser and all of the people that repeat things that Rick Glaser says based on his hate for Al Heyman and PBC and other blacks, in my personal opinion. Now that we got that out the way, this is the thing that baffles me. Rick Glaser was here on this channel, right? And most of y'all heard it. Rick Glaser was here, and he was telling me, and y'all heard it, that boxers, particularly the ones that are assigned to Al Heyman and PBC, right? They are overpaid. Y'all remember he said that? Let me make sure we all on the same page. Can somebody in the chat, if you recall that, I will roll the tape. I will roll the tape back. If you recall Rick Glaser saying that the fighters that fight under PBC are overpaid, right? So, all right, so we got a couple of people in the chat that remember that, right? Okay, so if the fighters at PBC are overpaid, then how come it's an issue with Al Heyman trying to use his resources, PBC use their resources properly to make sure that when they pay someone as the #1 pay-per-view star in the sport of boxing, Canelo Alvarez, to make sure when they're paying him that it basically lines up with the proper opponent to justify the money he's getting paid? Which one is it? Is it bad business for Al Heyman and PBC to allow Canelo Alvarez to become a free agent and maybe work with another promoter or another network? Or is it bad business for them to overpay fighters? Which one is it? I'm not asking for Rick Glaser to come up here and answer that, but if he's listening and people that's cool with him, I know some of them be listening, send that to him. Send my question to him. Which one is it? Because what it looks like to me is that both Canelo and PBC or Al Heyman, they make some valid points with regards to what we've heard would happen, right? And the reason why I say that is very simple. Let's put this in proper perspective. According to what we've heard, and I heard this, was it yesterday or the day before? I think it was the day before yesterday. What's his name? Dan Raphael. Dan Raphael, this is what he said. I heard him in an interview. I don't remember the outlet that interviewed him. Maybe it was ESPN. It was somebody on YouTube. It wasn't a content creator, no, but it was somebody on YouTube. It wasn't somebody that I recognized, a channel that I recognized. So I don't want to not give the person credit or this channel credit. I don't know if it was ESPN, because I recognize ESPN, but it was like, anyway, needless to say, they interviewed Dan Raphael, right? And Dan Raphael said that he was told by sources, these are his words, not mine. He was told by sources that Canelo Alvarez was obviously leaving the PBC because in the beginning of the 3-fight deal, Canelo Alvarez agreed to 3 fights. One of the fights was Jermell Charlo, and I think the last fight was Errol Spence Jr. This is what Dan Raphael said, his sources said. However, because the PBC lost money in the last fight that Canelo Alvarez had in September, when Canelo Alvarez fought Jermell Charlo, right? They figured a way that they can recoup the money that they lost and then obviously make a profit was to switch the order of the fight around for Canelo Alvarez to get paid the money that they agreed upon, the money that he's accustomed to making, right? Which is north of 25 to 30 million, which is what we've been hearing for the last 10 years of Canelo's career, right? That he makes massive amounts of money. But in the last 5 years, we've heard that Canelo been making upward of 25 million per fight, right? Remember, he did that 10-fight deal with DAZN. Anyway, with that being said, Jermell Charlo was going to be the first fight, Canelo, and then, of course, the last one would be against Errol Spence. I want to put that in proper context, even if that's true. When Canelo signed with the PBC, this was before Crawford fought Errol Spence. So basically, PBC signed Crawford for a reason, and they signed Canelo for a reason. No different than what Top Rank did when they signed Devin Haney to a 3-fight deal. This is standard in boxing. What I mean by standard in boxing is this. When a promoter signs a boxer of the magnitude of a Canelo, of the status of a Canelo, or a status of Devin Haney, fighters that have name recognition, right? And they sign them to a multi-fight deal. Let's just say a 2 to 3 fight deal. Most of the time, when the fighters sign that deal, they know the opponents that they're going to fight. Okay? I just want to put that in perspective so that y'all already know how this works, so that when I lay the foundation of why I say both parties make valid points, you'll understand what I mean. So in the beginning, Canelo was offered Jermell Charlo We know that to be true. Out of all the fighters, we know that that part was true. Why? Because he was scheduled to fight Jamal Charlo. It was reported time and time again that he was originally supposed to fight Jamal Charlo. Okay, let's put this in perspective with the timeline. Jamal Charlo was supposed to fight Tim Tszyu, and he got injured. Okay? This is way before PBC signed Canelo. So what I'm saying is that Jamal Charlo wasn't in the sweepstakes to fight Canelo Alvarez. He's a 154-pound unified champion, right? Okay, now fast forward. Jamal Charlo was on a hiatus, whether it be mental health, whether it be family issues, whether it be certain personal issues that he was going through. The bottom line is that Jamal Charlo was not in the mental capacity or the physical capacity or a combination of both to fight Canelo Alvarez. Okay? Now, with that being said, I would be extremely surprised if PBC, somewhere down the line, whether it be after Canelo signed the multi-fight deal or before he signed, I would most likely believe before he signed, that David Benavidez's name didn't come up at all. I'd be extremely surprised if someone showed me proof that, when I say proof, I mean even through verbal dialogue with Canelo. I want to say this about David Benavidez because I think people just go off of hearsay and they don't know all the information. David Benavidez, right, has a promoter. He's signed to a promoter. The same promoter who promotes a lot of different fighters, including Sebastian Fundora. His name is Samson Lukowitz. You've seen his face all over the world. He's internationally known as a promoter. Good promoter too. And you might not recognize him by name, but that is David Benavidez's promoter. Okay? And obviously, Samson and Al Heyman have a great business relationship. And that's why you see David Benavidez for the last, since I remember 2015 or 16, he's been fighting on the PBC cards. Just like Jerron Boots Ennis, right? Just like Jerron Boots Ennis, fighting under the PBC banner on the PBC cards. We see this happen in boxing all the time, right? Where a promoter is cross-marketing their fighter to fight on a different platform under a different promotional banner for a fee. Ain't none free in boxing, right? But my point is, David Benavidez has representation. So with that being said, I'd be totally surprised if somewhere down the line, PBC would leave David Benavidez out of the sweepstakes of fighting Canelo Alvarez. This is why Canelo Alvarez, David Benavidez fought Caleb Plant, PBC fighter, right? Then they signed Demetrius Andrade. Remember, they signed him. Remember, they put him on the undercard of the Tank Davis versus Hector Garcia fight. Remember that? And guess what? He got a shot at the title to fight David Benavidez under the PBC banner. So they signed Canelo Alvarez after that. You see? Look at the timeline. So I'd be surprised if his name was never brought up to fight Canelo Alvarez. I'd be surprised, me personally. When a promoter sign you to a multi-fight deal, oh, they got the fights lined up already. It's just business. Now, speaking of it's just business, right? Canelo Alvarez may feel like, hey, y'all told me this fight was going to happen for this amount. This fight's going to happen for this amount. And then the third fight's going to happen for this amount. Well, if Errol Spence's name was on the list to be the last fighter to fight Canelo Alvarez, of course, at this point, Errol Spence is not in no shape, way, or form to fight Canelo Alvarez today. Now, why would Errol Spence's name be on that list? Obviously, if it was, I don't know. I'm just going by this what Dan Raphael said his sources told him. If Errol Spence's name was on that list, it was obviously because PBC was banking on Errol Spence to beat who? Terrence Crawford. Okay? Somebody just sent me a cash app. Hold on. At least that's what I thought I heard. Oh, shit. I knew somebody did. Salute to my guy, family. Philly Fight Doctor, my man Luther. Thank you so much, Philly Fight Doctor. Thank you for your contribution and your support to the channel and your friendship, of course. Thanks, Philly Fight Doctor. Appreciate you, my brother. Yeah, so you just check the timeline to see what the promotion's, motive was for signing Canelo. It was to put him in the biggest and best fight possible for all parties involved to cash out. Okay? To cash out. Now, I see someone's comment stating that the Zone is the best network in boxing right now. Well, there is not another network bigger than the Zone right now that we know of, because they are putting on more fights right now. We haven't even given Amazon Prime a chance. So we got to make sure we get, let's hold off on that. Hold on with that comment, because Amazon Prime, we got to give them an opportunity, just like we gave the other Prime opportunity, BLK Prime. You see, everybody that's new in the platform, when they come to boxing, you got to give them a chance first. You got to give everybody opportunity. So we can't just rule out Amazon Prime. Give them a chance. They haven't put on the show yet. Let's see what their production value, provides. Let's see, how their programming looks. Let's see how this thing works out. All right. Now, I'm not denying that, but I will say this. Let's look at De La Hoya when it comes down to Golden Boy Promotions. Let's look at Matchroom, Eddie Hearn. We can throw Queensbury Promotions in there. Frank Warren. We can throw Top Rank and Bob Arum. We can name all four of those promoters. And I have to say this, and I've said this time and time again before, all of those promoters put together have not put on the greatest and best shows in boxing, whether it be main events and undercards, in the last 7-8 years. The best fights have come through PBC. That's just, hey, that's not an opinion. That's a fact. Okay? I'm not knocking them. I'm just telling you that all the best and competitive fights, whether people like them or not, whether people criticize those fights or not, they all came through PBC. And I told Rick Glaser when he was here, PBC have made more world champions and have promoted and built up more pay-per-view stars than all of those promoters put together. I'm talking about in a certain time span. In a certain time span. They have multiple fighters. So we gotta give credit where it's due. That's all. We got to give credit where it's due. And so the thing about it is that hold up, huh? What are you saying, man? Estelle, double salute to you. Thank you for your support and your contribution to the Cash App. I appreciate that. Estelle says, "For love, for moms." I'm gonna tell my mom you did that, Estelle, and you sent that on behalf of her. I appreciate you so much, and I'm sure my mom would as well. Yeah. So, the thing is this though. Okay, put it like this. Let's use Golden Boy as an example, right? After Canelo left Golden Boy Promotions, who was their top pay-per-view star over there? Okay. After Manny Pacquiao left Top Rank, who was their pay-per-view star over there? After Canelo left Matchroom in the zone, who was their pay-per-view star over there? I rest my case. And guess what? Terrence Crawford was with Top Rank. Manny Pacquiao was with Top Rank. What's his name? Canelo Alvarez was with Golden Boy and Matchroom through the zone. And guess what? All three of those fighters made their way to PBC and Al Heyman. I'm not lobbying for PBC. All I'm saying is the proof is in the pudding. Got to give PBC credit. You got to give them credit. They have produced the best and most competitive fights for over almost a decade now. Got to give those guys and ladies that do a great job over there credit. And the reason why I can say that with so much confidence is because I understand the business of boxing. That's not diminishing what the other promoters have done and the contributions that they have made and the fighters that they represent and promote. I'm not doing that. I'm just telling y'all these are the facts that we're laying out. So where PBC was wrong at, according to how Canelo feels, back to my point, is that they switched the order up. In other words, is you promised Canelo to fight this fighter for this amount, but then now things are different. And obviously things are different because Canelo wasn't supposed to fight Jermell Charlo from the beginning. All of us were surprised when we found out that Jermell Charlo was going to move up in weight to fight Canelo instead of coming off of the injury to unify the belt and fight Tim Tszyu, which was his original opponent before he got injured. Let's keep it 100. So because all of those things happened where Jermell Charlo had to back out, that threw a wrench in the game, now PBC had to make adjustments. Okay? And they probably did lose some money on that Jermell Charlo versus Canelo Alvarez fight. And so their way of trying to make a profit after they recoup their initial investment was to say, hey, David Benavidez can be the last fight on the deal so that everybody can end up in the green before Canelo walks away. That is good business. The problem with that is the order of which that was to come. Because Andre, who was newly signed to PBC, had to get a fight under his belt before he get the opportunity to fight somebody of the caliber of a David Benavidez. I say caliber because he was a world champion. Not saying that he's better or not. I'm just saying caliber, name recognition, because he only had one fight on the PBC. And I'm referring to Andre. And he was exposed to a pay-per-view audience. You see, I keep telling y'all the difference between a pay-per-view audience, right? Didn't I teach y'all that? Okay. So that's done intentionally. When you see a fighter getting some exposure to a pay-per-view audience, a paying audience, is to set that fighter up to be accustomed to fighting on pay-per-view, being exposed to a pay-per-view audience. You ain't going to learn this nowhere else. That's why I'm glad you're here. And so when you look at the timeline, this is why Canelo is saying, wait a minute. If I fight this fighter, whether it be Jamal Charlo or whoever else, I'm not going to make the money that I want to make or that I believe I'm accustomed to making, or the money that we agreed upon. But here's the great thing. Contracts don't have to be broken. They can be modified. They can be adjusted as long as both parties agree to the modification. Just like any other contract in the court of law or outside of it, it can be modified. But it sounds like maybe Canelo didn't want to modify it, and nobody can blame him for not wanting to modify it. The issue that I have with it is Canelo knows that he's supposed to fight Benavidez. Everybody knows that. We've been talking about that for a minute. Because David Benavidez earned the right, not just in his last fight. Look at his last 2, 3, 4 fights. He earned the right to get that big payday with Canelo Alvarez. And if you do look at his last 2 to 3 fights, he definitely earned the right. I mean, he fought twice last year. Once in March against Caleb Plant, and he won that fight. And then November of 2023, last year, a couple months ago. And he won that fight, obviously, by TKO against Andre. God give him credit. He earned the right to fight Canelo Alvarez. And apparently, Canelo Alvarez, for whatever reason, he don't want to fight Benavidez. Right now, we got to keep it 100. I told y'all before, the reason why I think he don't want to fight Benavidez is because Canelo is from Mexico, okay? And he understands that you can walk into a pharmacy in Mexico and you can purchase EPO and human growth hormone and other substances that will provide enhancements to your performance over the counter, legally. And the man that has a history of doing that is a man from Mexico. And he is the nutritionist of David Benavidez. And I'm talking about Memo Heredia. I don't have no proof of that. That's just my opinion. Canelo knows he's with Memo, and he's been with Memo for a little minute now. And he don't want to risk losing to a guy that's associated with Memo Heredia, a guy from his country. where everybody know how certain people get down. And memo already is history. That's just my opinion. That might not be the case. Might be another reason. I don't know. But all we know is Canelo don't want to fight Benavidez. Period. Now, let's get to Devin Haney and Ryan Garcia. I'm not going to give a breakdown of the fight. We're going to do that at a later date. Not going to give it a prediction. I'm going to open a panel up so we can do that on a later date. I'm not going to break down their styles, right? I'm not going to do that right now. I'm going to do that at a later date. But the press conference in New York, it sounded like from the responses that I heard that the audience was live. It was a free event, I believe. They came up in numbers, and that looked good. It sounded good. I like to hear fans giving support to the fighters and coming to the press conference, and I thought that was decent. There's some things that happened at that press conference that I was like scratching my head, like, come on, y'all. Let me start with this. I keep telling y'all this. We got to understand when two fighters are competing against each other, we have to make it about them. It's always about the boxers. We got to keep it on giving the boxers the exposure. It's about the fighters, not about nobody else. And I didn't hear too many people making it about the fighters at this press conference. That made me scratch my head and push my headline back even farther than it already is. Okay? I want these press conferences moving forward to be about these fighters. I don't want nobody else getting more airtime than the fighters. I don't want to see nobody else getting more microphone time than the fighters. It's about them. And I've seen people make it all about them and not the fighters. Double salute to my guy, member of the channel and a supervisor of the Roll the Tape film crew, my guy, Andre Noble. Thanks for your support, Andre, and your contribution to the channel. Andre says, this last press conference in LA was the worst one yet. I got a feeling Ryan is going to pull out of this fight for real. What? Now, the New York one was okay. That was okay. Besides the little points that I'm going to bring up that I didn't agree with. But overall, the New York press conference, it was cool. It was all right. But now Andre says that the LA press conference was the worst one yet. Now, that press conference started almost about 2 hours ago. I didn't get a chance to watch it yet. Hopefully, if I get time a little later, I'll watch some of it and give my perspective the next time we come back on here live. So I definitely got to look at that. But we got to make it about the fighters. When we at these press conferences, I don't care if you're the promoter. I don't care if you're the trainer. I don't care if you're the manager. We have to keep the focus on the fighters. And we have to remain professional. See, that's one thing I didn't see a lot of that. I didn't see a lot. Listen, y'all, this is not... Listen, y'all, we got sponsors. I'm saying we because I represent the business. When you ever hear me talk like saying we, I represent the business. We have sponsors. We have to make sure we keep it on a professional level for the sponsors that's helping bankroll this fight. You see? The networks, the streaming platforms that's bankrolling this fight. We got to make sure it has a level of professionalism. It can't be ghetto every time these same people get up there. We got to maintain a level of class and professionalism, y'all. I'm not talking about the trash talking. At some point, it's got to come back. We have to have the right authorities, the right promoters, the right people in place to say, all right, we're going too far. Let's bring it back to why we are here. Yes, sell the fight, talk trash. Yes, yeah, of course. Get up and act like you're going to rumble each other. Do all that's fine. But at some point, we know you ain't going to swing on each other. Security right here, we're going to make sure y'all too far apart. Let's have a sense of professionalism with it as well. All right? All right? Just a guy. If you was here for a while, you would recall me giving you the order that we were going to go in, brother. Okay? I gave the order of when we were going to talk about that. All right? Hold on. I got you. I know what you're here for. Now, let me get back to my points that I was bringing about the New York press conference. We got to maintain a level of professionalism, right? And make it about the fighters. Nobody else. Keep the focus on the reason why the fans need to pay for this fight. Because of the fighters, the boxers. Okay? Now, Eddie Hearn. He said something yesterday, and I wanted to give my perspective on it. He was giving Bill Haney his flowers by talking about how Bill Haney built up his son Devin, which is commendable. But then Eddie Hearn said something that went over most people's head. Eddie Hearn said he paid for his son to fight in Mexico when his son didn't even get a purse. In other words, he was saying that Devin Haney was fighting for free to pad his record and garner some wins in Mexico. I just wanted to translate what he was talking about. You see? Because in Mexico, let me break this down for the people. Because in Mexico, not only can you meaning a fighter, not only can you pad your record, but you can actually, if you got the right representation around you, or the wrong representation, depending on how you look at it, you can actually determine and get it predetermined of how you're going to pad your record. Let me reframe that for the people in the back. If you go to Mexico and you are going to Mexico as an American to go there as the A side, and you are fighting in Mexico to build your resume, to build your record, to get wins, so to speak. Not only can you predetermine your win, in other words, I'm going to pay as a manager, promoter, I'm going to pay this opponent this amount to let my A-side fighter who I'm building up get in there, get some rounds in. Everybody already know who's going to win. So the win is predetermined. You know, like WWE, when they say wrestling is fake, it's because the wins were predetermined. The outcome of the wrestling matches were predetermined. It's sort of like that. Then you also have, like I said, depending on how you look at it, a good manager or a bad manager, a good promoter or a bad promoter, You also have where not only the outcome is predetermined, but also the way the outcome is predetermined. So the outcome is predetermined that A side gonna win this fight. Why? Because the A side is overmatched with this Mexican. And I'm gonna throw a couple more dollars on top of this because this fighter needs to get knocked out. And I can say I'll throw some more money on top of that. This fighter, this B-side opponent from Mexico need to get knocked out in round 3. You ain't gonna find this nowhere else on YouTube. So I'm glad you here. So now we can break that down again in 3 payments. You got payment number 1, predetermined win. I throw some more money on top of it. Payment number 2 is knockout. I throw some more on top of it. Payment number 3 is knockout in this round right here. It's just business. It's not personal. It's just business. It's not personal. Okay? Payment number 1, equal 2,000. I'm just using this as a number. Equal $2,000. Fighter A gonna win against fighter B who's from Mexico. Fighter A from another country. Let's just use America. 2,000 for the opponent, not for the A side. For the opponent. Okay. All right. 2,700. So 2,000 to get the predetermined win. The 2,700. That's gonna get the knockout. The 3,600. Knockout in round 3. You go down, you better stay down. You go down, stay down, and don't get up. 3,600. And you know Mexican dollars are different from American dollars. Okay. It's business. I don't mean to give the business away, how business is done in Mexico, but I got to keep it all the way 100. It's real. Now, I got an issue with that. I got an issue with Eddie Hearn saying that Bill Haney was paying, whether it be predetermined, payment number 1, whether it be guaranteed knockout, payment number 2, or whether it be knockout in this particular round, meaning that you get knocked down, don't get up, payment number 3. Either way, Eddie Hearn said that's what Bill Haney was doing in Mexico. The issue I have with that is how the fighter not getting paid. And guess what? I dare somebody on here that been around me for more than a year say you just picking on the Haneys. Because if you recall, around this time in February last year, I explained this about Mike Williams Sr. and Mike Williams Jr. Y'all remember that? Come on, y'all. Carl Brown, he's been here for over a year. He remember that. When Mike Williams Sr. went on Everything Boxing's channel, and I pulled up to the channel through the link that was sent. I asked for the link to explain the business side, to give more perspective, right? Because Michael Williams, I'm not bringing up nothing old. I'm just keeping it 100 to show y'all how I'm consistent in what I say and do. Mike Williams Sr. said that when he was paying to build his son's record, in other words, predetermined wins, not in other countries here in America, right? He said that his son wasn't getting paid. And I said the same thing I'm saying right now. Every fighter ought to get paid when they go in that ring. I don't care if the dad is in control of paying the opponent. Like Bill Haney was in control of his son, paying the opponent. Like Mike Williams Sr. was in control of paying the opponent of his son. No, pay the fighters, whether they're sons or not. Every fighter needs to get paid when they step into that ring as a professional. And I stand by that. So that's for all of the critics and my detractors that's going to say I'm picking on the Haneys and I'm hating. I've been saying this, and I'm standing by it. This is their profession, and they ought to get paid. How a fighter going to feel if their father or their manager or their promoter sit up there and pay the opponent who's going to take punches and punishment from them, but yet they don't get paid? Oh, well, no, that's not right. I don't agree with that. I don't agree with it. And quite frankly, I would have liked for, what's his name? Eddie Hearn. You ain't even had to speak on that. Because you know why? It ain't about Bill Haney. The press conference is about who? The fighter, Devin. Now, did Eddie Hearn eventually keep it on Devin? Yes. But you started it off giving credit and putting the shedding the light on Bill. Keep it on the fighter. And that's not to diminish Bill, but keep it on the fighter. The fighter get the shine. I would have liked for Eddie Hearn to not tell nobody that. Even if people knew about it, don't rehash it. Oh yeah, his dad was paying for fights for him in Mexico, and he wasn't even getting paid as a fighter. He didn't say it like that, but if you don't understand the business, that's how you're going to take it. Like me, like I took it like that. Come on. Don't say that. Because even though you're trying to give Bill Haney his credit, you're discrediting him and you're discrediting the fighter. Don't do this. Be quiet. You wanna congratulate Bill Haney? Do it on a different time zone, a different platform, not today. The press conference is about the fighters. And that's not a good look. Why? Because we've heard Devin Haney get criticized by Regis Prograis. Remember when Regis Prograis said that? Oh man, we heard you lost in Mexico, but they expunged that loss off your record in Mexico. That's what I heard. Remember Regis? That's Regis Prograis said that, right? Remember he said that? Somebody in the chat. Don't leave me out here by myself like people think I'm making stuff up. Can somebody in the chat confirm that you heard, or if you didn't hear, that's fine. But the ones that heard Regis Prograis gave Devin Haney that speech on the fact that he heard that when he was fighting in Mexico, that he lost a fight in Mexico and they expunged the loss of his record. Did anybody in the chat hear that? I'm just asking a question. Somebody said, I remember Marty, YouTube user. Don't know who that is, but oh, okay. I'm just asking. Okay, so I'm not saying that that's true, that he lost and then that was expunged from his record. That is not my point. That's for the people that don't listen fully to when I talk. My point is that it should have never been brought up at this press conference. For what? Because while you bigging up Bill Haney, somebody that knows the business has come back down and diminish that. Don't do that. We want the fighters to be built up. We want to uplift the boxers. Okay? It's not about the promoter, not about his dad, not about the trainer. This press conference is about the fighters. So let's keep it on them. So that's an issue I had with Eddie Hearn, bringing it up. And I just gave y'all some bonuses on that. Okay, teaching y'all what really be going down. All right, when you padding records out in Mexico, that's what be going down. Now, when it comes to Bernard Hopkins, Bernard, he tried to keep it on the fighters. I understood what he was saying. But once again, somehow, some way, he brought it onto himself by stating, and I'm talking, verbatim. He said, you can go on my Instagram and you can go on Be Hot the Alien on my Instagram And y'all can go and see how I posted a video of how this fight would have materialized and should have materialized years ago, because I'm spearheading and we are spearheading and making everybody else be on notice that we're changing the landscape of boxing by instigating these fights. And now all the big fights are happening. Yeah, it's because of us. It's because of me. And if you go back in your memory bank, you'll see that I've been saying that I'm instigating these fights, and both of these fighters are going to fight each other when the time is right. And now it's actually happening. And I predicted this. I prophesied this. That's basically what he was saying in a nutshell. But B-Hop, this press conference is not about you. Once again, this is about the fighters. And I'm not saying he was doing that intentionally to make it about him. I'm just saying how it came across when we keep making things about other people and not the fighters. So what I'm saying is, let's keep it on the fighters. The press conference, it's about the fighters. Y'all got to have a little bit more professionalism. It's not about your race. We got to have this thing classy, especially when the representatives of boxing get up there, like Eddie Hearn, Bernard, De La Hoya, even Bill, because they keep saying Bill's the boss, right? Okay, so the point is, or he says that Devin's the boss, but my point is, all of y'all are supposed to be in executive positions, is the point that I'm making. Let's make this, we want to see y'all be classy. Let the fighters go back and forth and banter and do all that to sell the fight. But the professionals, y'all got to maintain professionalism. Don't make it about you or somebody else. Keep the energy and the lights on the fighters. That's all I'm saying. Now, let me talk about Ryan Garcia. Ryan Garcia. I respect the fact that you and Bernard had a conversation in the locker room before y'all came out. And I respect the fact, Ryan Garcia, that you said, hey, let's squash the beef, Bernard. Let's shake it up. That was cool. That was cool. But next time, Ryan Garcia, let Bernard finish his time on that podium, though. You understand? When you get your time up there, then you include that in your time of your speech. But don't cut Bernard off. I understand it was for a good reason, but we got to maintain a level of professionalism, okay? So let the man finish. And I like that. You know what I mean? Because you know why? It happened publicly between them two, so they should have pieced it up in public. You know what I mean? All respect for that. I believe if something happens publicly, it should be resolved publicly. If an issue happens in public and it needs to be resolved, resolve it publicly. If it happens privately, it should be resolved privately. Don't bring nothing public. That's just my philosophy. All right. So it's cool to piece it up and say no beef. That's cool, Ryan, but let him finish his time on that podium as a professional, as an executive. All right. Don't cut him off. Because I heard Devin Haney trying to cut Bernard off. Bernard heard Devin Haney trying to cut him off and interrupt him, but he didn't acknowledge him. Okay? But what I'm saying is let Bernard, let the executives finish their whole statement. And then when you get up there, you use your time to do that. Make it a little bit more professional and classy. All right? Now, when it comes to Bill Haney got on the podium and he started bringing up an issue with Bernard. This press conference don't have nothing to do with B-Hop. And it don't have nothing to do with you. You get up there and you keep the light shining on your son, the fighter. Because I got to give credit to B-Hop. He never brought up the Bill Haney fiasco, from what I heard. He never brought that up. And that was a professional thing that B-Hop did that was right. And Bill Haney dropped the ball when he went up there bringing that up. First thing he brought up, Bernard. Unprofessional, unnecessary. This is not the platform for that. Now, it would have been nice that those two men, Bernard and Bill Haney, pieced it up. But I know how old heads are, especially in our community. I knew that wasn't going to happen. But even if it did happen, it had to happen at the right time, not on the fighters' time. See, we here for the fighters. That's what I'm getting at. Okay? Keep it on the boxers. Can't nobody refute what I'm saying because I'm making sense when I talk. And if you do refute it, it's because you cool with certain people. But let's keep it all the way 100. And let's keep it a buck, as we say in Philly. Let's keep it 1,000. Press conference, pre-fight hype, all this pre-fight workout. Man, it's about the fighters. The fight in the ring, the weigh-in, all of the prerequisites to the event and the event itself. Let's keep it on our boxers. This is how they draw more money. Let's keep it on them. Okay? Let's keep it on them. And that's where I believe Bill Haney dropped the ball. Another place where Bill Haney dropped the ball was when he sat down. Everybody was seated. I forgot the guy's name. He was asking the questions to both fighters and everything, right? And Bill was doing more talking than Devin. And y'all heard me weeks and weeks and weeks on in since 2024. Bill sit in the back, handle the business part more, and let Devin do more talking. But see, Bill Haney was doing more talking, agitating Ryan Garcia about what Floyd Mayweather said in the spar. Let Devin bring that up, not you. It's not about you. Let the fighter bring that up. Let the two fighters back and forth about that. And that's what I mean when I say, let the shining light be placed on our boxers. Okay? That's all. Hey, that's all I'm saying. It's about the fighters, y'all. And we got to keep it on the fighters. We got to keep it on the fighters. That's all I'm saying. Got to keep it on the fight. It's about them. It's not about the boxing managers. It's not about the boxing promoters. It's not about the boxing trainers. It's not about the boxing cut men or cut women. It's not about the boxing sparring partners. Nope. It's always about the boxers. And we have to keep the light shining on our boxers, especially here in America, because you know we have the least committed fan base in the world when it comes to boxing. Double salute to my guy, Mr. Gregory Quarterbaum. Thank you for your support and your contribution to the channel, Mr. Greg. Gregory Quarterbaum says, greetings, Manager Marty, and the Road to Tape family. It's sad sometimes to see everybody get caught up in their feelings and forget they are there for the fighters. I agree. Totally, it is sad. I agree with you, Mr. Greg. It is sad. So now people need to start reevaluating their agendas. It's about the fighters, man. I don't care what nobody say. It's about them fighters. Keep that light shining on our fighters. Keep building them up. Press conference, hype your fighter up. Promoter, boxing manager, boxing trainer, representation, team member of the camp. Build your fighter up. And you don't have to put down the other fighter to build your fighter. And that goes for Ryan and Devin. And y'all have heard me say this last year, and I've been saying it, and you probably ain't never heard it nowhere else. Fighters, and this goes for Ryan Garcia and Devin. Y'all both got here because of your skill set. Y'all have learned and have grown and developed from the amateurs. And now you are fighting each other. You don't have to put down each other and say, you ain't going to beat me because you only got the left hook. Don't say that. You're supposed to say, I'm going to be in a real fight with this guy. He's got a good left hook. He has good foot movement. And he's not scared to fight. And I'm going to be ready for him. That's what Devin should be telling Ryan. Build him up. You know you're going to beat him and break him down, but before the public and be in the presence of the media, you in the presence of casual boxing fans, better build him up. Because this was going to make people want to pay. But if you say, oh, man, he only got a left hook, I'm going to disarm him, and then that's it. This fight going to be over in round 5. You're going to make people say, well, dag, if he's saying all this, and I do see what Devin's saying, oh, that's all he got, and he going to knock him out before 5 rounds, what's the point of me paying for it? I might as well live stream it and steal it for free. This is the mentality of some casual fans. Why would I pay $60 to $80 to watch a fight when I know the outcome and how the outcome is going to be? And the results. Man, I'm going to stream it, and then guess what? Hey, I'm going to commit piracy. This is the mentality of some people. Or I'm not going to buy it at all. I'm not going to commit piracy, and I'm not going to pay for it. When the fight, I found out through the highlights within 2 hours after the fight go off on YouTube. This is the mentality. The name of the game is to sell the fight. Sell it. Especially if you're not as charismatic as a Muhammad Ali. Sell that fight. Ryan Garcia. Man, I'm gonna dominate him. I'm gonna clearly just run through him. Devin Haney ain't got nothing for me. He can't do this, he can't do that. And I'm gonna knock him out. First of all, you're not gonna knock him out because he's on a snack program. Oops. Oops, sorry, y'all. Sorry, guys. Sorry, ladies. Snack. Yeah, snack, baby, snack. You know Devin Haney's on it. So it works. And it's going to work in this fight. But the bottom line is Ryan Garcia. No, say it. Yo, he's a good fighter. He's a multi-division world champion. He made history in boxing. I'm going to be in a tough fight, but I'm going to give it my best, and I'm coming out victorious. And I'm going for the knockout. That's how you sell it. You ain't got to say it that calm, you know. But I'm just saying, build each other up to make people excited. Galvanize the casual fan that don't know too much about boxing to buy this thing. Hardcore boxing fans, we know about both these guys' resume. Now y'all done made my backdrop fall. Live on the daggone show. Only on this channel you'll be able to see stuff like this. I'm still rolling the tape. It's like, no, I'm about to fix it, y'all. This looks very unprofessional and unclassy. Hold on, let me fix this real quick. y'all. Yeah, I'm back. I'm back. So that's all I was saying about that situation. You know, when it comes down to Devin Haney, Ryan Garcia, the press conference in New York. I'm going to look at the press conference that they did today in LA. Probably not going to watch the whole thing, but I am going to watch some of it to see what's going on, how it looked. Yeah. All right. Now, let me see something real quick. Okay. Now, if you look at your screen, you will see a comment that was made to me yesterday, from Bernie the Boxer. Most of you know he is one of the closest friends of Terrence Bud Crawford. He is also one of the team members on Team Crawford, in Team Crawford's camp. He also is one of the trainers, one of the guys that train Crawford or help him out in the gym and everything like that, a part of the team. And this is Bernie the Boxer. Now, I actually did a video yesterday. And the title of that video, for those of you that may not have gotten an opportunity to watch it, the title is Terrence Crawford Team Didn't Send the Pictures. Okay? That was the name of the title. Terrence Crawford Team Didn't Send the Pictures. And I put the @ Bernie the Boxer, you know, because he's a part of the Team Crawford. He's a part of Team Crawford, so I wanted him to hear what was said in the video because he is a part of Team Crawford. And he responded. He responded to it, as you can see it on your screen. And I'm going to play the video so that you can hear the video. And I guess why he responded. And I'm going to address what he said, because I'm going to actually put on the screen, as you can see it right now, my actual response to his comment immediately following him actually commented. And I'm going to read it. I just wanted to put it on the screen so we all know. Now let's do this. Yeah, somebody, Motorsports Sports, he's a fan of Crawford, and I saw it. I'm watching his comment in the chat, and I want to talk about that. I want to respond to what you said. Okay, I want to comment on that. Let me play the video, and it's only like a few minutes. It's not a long video, and so that you can get perspective on the point that I was raising in the video, and also that you can get the understanding and context of what Bernie the Boxer actually said in his comments and why he said what he said. Give me 1 second. Let me play it right now. This is the video. Terrence Crawford Team Didn't Send the Pictures. This is where I included the @ Bernie the Boxer's name in it because he is a representation and a representative of Team Crawford. And this is what the video was about. Don't take my word for it. Roll the tape. But I want the audience to understand what you mean when you said Vada's DCO representation came with Andre at 10:30 at night and even 6:30 in the morning. Do they come to your house? Do they come to your gym? No, where did they come?
They will come to the gym, but they came to the Marriott Hotel 4/10 of a mile down the block from Snack. They've come to the track, the Merritt track in Oakland, and tested Devin Haney there. So they come, typically if they can't find you at the location you say you're going to be, then they start calling people, and you've got the trainer, you've got the fighter, you've got, my name and phone number and addresses on a lot of these enrollment forms, and they'll call me if they can't find them, because I try to herd them to Vada so that they can get their test done.
So when they came, when they came to Andre, let's say 10:30 at night, I'm sure you probably wasn't there. Did Andre say, "Oh, Victor"? Did he call you and say, "Hey, they just got here"? Or they just
Andre Rozier, the trainer, was there and he was filming it and he was sending me pictures. So I knew when they were there. I got a video while they were doing it.
Come on back, because I don't want nobody to get distracted. I don't want anybody to miss anything. I want everybody to hear clearly of what's being said. We don't want no more misinterpretations. Now I'm going to play another clip. This clip was about the protocol, the 365 24/7 protocol that I asked him about when he was here. Let's hear what he has to say, and we'll decide in this piece of the second interview that I presented and conducted with Mr. Victor Conti, whether or not he's an advocate or an avenue.
So
that's what happened with Andre, right? You said Andre, they came to him 10:30 at night and 6:30 in the morning.
Absolutely.
And then I asked you, did they come see you? You said no, because you had posted the pictures up of the Vada's, contracted DCOs actually collecting the blood and urine sample from him. And you said that Andre Rozier, his trainer, actually sent you those pictures. Is that the protocol of the program, where every time somebody gets tested, they have to, send you the pictures and everything when Vada come? Is that part of the program?
Most of the time I do get pictures. I ask them to make pictures because I post them on Twitter. Go back and look. I posted it. And then when they get their results back, and then about 2 weeks after they test, look at Devin Haney recently, and Andre and others in the most recent time frame where there's been fights that Snack has sponsored. I'm posting their letters that they get saying they were tested for all prohibited substances and all were negative.
All right. Y'all heard that. Y'all heard that. I asked, is it protocol with your program that the fighters that are being tested by Vada, in other words, is the DCOs, come and collect the specimens of the fighters? They collect their blood and urine samples. Do you inform your fighters and their camps to inform you anytime the DCOs representing Vada come there to test them? He said, yes. I asked them to make pictures. Y'all just heard him. And send those pictures to him, of the DCO having the fighter's arm extended so that they can extract blood and different things of that nature. He said that the trainer of Andre Rozier, who used to train Danny Jacobs, by the way, sent him the pictures of when Andre was being tested by the DCOs representing Vada. He said that he asked them to make pictures to send it to him so that then he can post it on Twitter. And then their welcoming letter from Vada that says you are enrolled in the testing and your testing results as a fighter are negative. He posts that on Twitter. Detail Boxing, are you still there, brother?
Yep.
I got a question real quick. If this is a part of his program, if this is a part of the protocol of his program, then where are the pictures from Bo Mack, Team Crawford, Bernie the boxing guy, and even Terrence Crawford himself? How come they didn't send him no pictures? He said that he asked them to make the pictures and send it to him so he could post it on Twitter. How come Terrence Crawford and his crew never sent him no Vada letter saying we welcome you in the testing? No pictures of the DCOs collecting any blood samples? Don't sound like an advocate to me.
So that was the actual video that I posted yesterday, where I took an excerpt from the first interview I did with Victor Conti, where he initially stated he volunteered the information. I didn't ask him for it because no one knew, but he volunteered the information saying that he requests his fighters to send proof or evidence, so to speak, that the DCOs that represent Vada to collect the blood and the urine samples to be tested and shipped off to the labs. He said that the trainer, Andre Rozier, he actually was training Demetrius Andrade, and he sent him pictures and videos of the DCOs collecting the samples, meaning not the urine samples, but the blood samples, and that they were there in uniform. He posted it on Twitter, Victor Conti did. And he also posted letters welcoming the fighters who are enrolled in Vada, and basically states on the letter that they've been tested for all prohibited substances and their testing results is negative. And then, of course, Victor Conti said that he posts that on Vada. He posts that on Twitter so that the fans of boxing can see that the fighters that work under his program, the SNAC program, are testing negative. So I asked him in the second interview, I basically reran what he said. You said that Andre Rozier sent you pictures and videos documenting when the DCOs came to Demetrius Andrade's hotel room to test him before the fight between him and Benavidez. I asked him, was that protocol of your program? Is that a procedure that you have established and instituted to your fighters, that anytime the DCOs come to collect the samples from any of the SNAC fighters, that you recommend that they send the information, whether video or pictures, to you, and the letter of welcoming from Vada that they tested negative, that they send that to you so that you can post it? And he said yes. That is a protocol. He encourages them to make pictures and send those welcoming letters in so that he can post it. So my question was, if that is the protocol of the SNAC program, and we know that Terrence Bud Crawford is on the SNAC program, how come his team, like Bomac and Bernie the boxing guy, how come them, or even Crawford himself, how come neither one of these guys sent over the pictures and or videos that's recommended by the man of that controls the whole program himself, Victor Conti, his words, not mine? Why didn't they send him any videos and pictures of the DCOs collecting samples, blood samples, so to speak, extracting blood, like phlebotomists do? And or not even just that, what about the letters, the welcoming letters that he said that he posts for Andrade and Devin Haney on Twitter? He haven't posted anything from Vada for Terrence Crawford. Neither did Bernie, neither did Bomac, because this is a recommendation that Victor Conti says that is a part of his program. And so all I said was that question. Well, Bernie the boxer did respond. Bernie the boxing guy, he responded to the question in the comment section, which is on your screen right now. And this is the words that he said. And for those of you that are probably preoccupied and you can't read what you see on your screen, I will read it for you. These are the words of Bernie the boxer. Bernie the boxer said, "Why you mentioned me? Vada came to the camp house. I answered the door. So beat it with this clout chasing nonsense gossip like a woman trying to create a narrative. If Bud would have tested bad, it would have came out. I'm going to read that last sentence. In fact, I'm going to read the whole thing again. I'm going to slow it down. I don't want anyone to miss this. Why you mention me? Vada came to the camp house. I answered the door. So beat it with this clout chasing nonsense, gossip like a woman, trying to create a narrative. If Bud would have tested bad, it would have came out. Those were the words of Bernie the Boxer. Now, these are my words responding to Bernie the Boxer immediately after he posted that comment. I said, I mention you because you are a recognized member of Team Crawford. I've never clout chased, gossiped, or created a narrative in any of my content. However, I did ask this question, and most people seem to not know the answer. Maybe you can provide clarity. As an undefeated world champion and good fighter that Bud is, why did he call Victor Conte to join the snack program? I'm going to read that again. I want to read it much slower so that we all can be on the same page. My response, once again, to Bernie the Boxer was, I mentioned you because you are a recognized member of Team Crawford. I've never clout chased, gossiped, or created a narrative in any of my content. However, I did ask this question, and most people seem to not know the answer. Maybe you can provide clarity. As an undefeated world champion and good fighter that Bud is, why did he call Victor Conte to join the snack program? We need answers. So that's how this thing started. Okay? I figured I can at Bernie the Boxer because I mentioned his name in the video. He is a recognized name in Terrence Crawford's camp. Most people saw him on the All Access episodes when he was in the camp of Terrence Crawford as the pre-fight build up to the fight between Crawford and Spence. Okay. So I figured he's Team Crawford. The title said Team Crawford. And so if Andre Rozier, who's one of the trainers of Andre, sent Victor Conte videos and pictures and all that, when the DCOs was testing Andre, I figured why not, since Victor Conte admitted to me when I asked him that this is a part of his program and the protocol that he encourages the trainers and the fighter to send him all this information so then he could put it out on Twitter so that people can see that the fighters are testing negative and the DCOs are collecting blood samples of these fighters. How come Bernie the Boxer, Bo Mack, or Terrence Crawford himself, how come they did not provide that information to Victor Conte? Or maybe if they did, but Victor Conte didn't post it. You know what I mean? Why is it that he brought up Andre and posted his paperwork? He brought up Devin Haney, posted his paperwork, but we haven't seen any of the documentation from Victor Conte, nor the pictures or the videos from Team Crawford or Crawford himself. That's all I was asking. Now, I want to address the words of Mr. Bernie the Boxer. He said, Vada came to the camp house. I answered the door. Well, that's only for one fight, bro. I've been asking Victor Conte about 3 fights. The last 3 fights that Terrence Crawford has been under the snack program. Yes, since 2021. So I just want to make sure everybody was clear on that. He said Vada came to the camp house and he answered the door. Right. You talking about the Spence fight, right? You ain't talking about the Sean Porter fight. You're not talking about the David Ebenezer fight, are you? I'm left to assume that he's talking about the Errol Spence fight, since Victor Conte confirmed that there was Vada testing in that fight. He also said, so beat it with this clout chasing nonsense. I ain't never clout chased. Let me show my face. Let me show. I ain't never clout chased nobody. Clout chase who? Who I clout chase? How is this clout chasing nonsense? I'm just asking a question. I'm sure everybody else is entitled to ask questions. How come every time me and Marty ask a question, it's always a problem? I'm always clout chasing when I ask thought-provoking questions. And these are easy questions that can be easily answered. I haven't asked a hard question yet so far. I got hard questions I can ask, but I didn't ask them. I asked all easy questions. Said that I'm clout chasing. I want to know how. Okay, he said I gossip like a woman, trying to create a narrative. That's not true. You ain't gonna find me never gossiping on this channel. We don't gossip over here. That's why when people come over here, they get the sense of relaxation. They get the sense of freedom, even if they don't agree with me. I open my panel freely to everybody, even people who are disguising themselves in masks, acting like they're old men. Even for people who are disguising themselves as boxing fans or fans of boxing, and then we find out that they're really Terrence Crawford fans. I open my platform to everybody, and we never gossip over here. He also stated that I'm trying to create a narrative. What narrative is being created? These are Victor Conte's words. I didn't say anything. These are Victor Conte's words himself. That's all I'm saying. We don't gossip. We keep it 100 and tell the truth and be honest around here, like real men supposed to. There's no narrative created. And then he says, if Bud would have tested bad, it would have came out. Let me get this off the screen here. If Bud would have tested bad, it would have came out. Well, what did he test then? Because nothing came out yet. And we're still waiting for the receipts. You see, Victor Conte put the receipts up of Devin Haney. That's what he just said. I can play it back again for all of y'all that didn't hear that part. Victor Conte said, hey, just like I do with Devin Haney. When the paperwork come in from Vada and it says he tests negative for all prohibited substance, I posted it on Twitter. When Demetrius Andre was testing with the DCOs and they took a picture of them collecting blood, Andre Rozier, his trainer, sent them to me. I told him to send the pictures to me, send the videos to me, send the paperwork. I put it up on the Twitter. Okay. So did Teofimo Lopez. Teofimo Lopez put the paperwork on Twitter from Vada, right? And that still wasn't good enough for Victor Conte. Because then he wanted to know, well, when did you and Jermaine Ortiz test? And which, I want to know the frequency of each of y'all tests. But now I'm asking for Terrence Crawford's paperwork. We're asking for Terrence Crawford's paperwork and receipts. Since Victor Conte said this is a part of the program, this is a part of his protocol. We're asking for pictures or videos. And we're not talking about just the Errol Spence fight now. I've been asking for a long time now. All of the fights that Terrence Crawford has had under the snack program. See, Victor Conte was here in the first interview, and he admitted to me before a live audience when I pointed it out to him about the testing on Vada's website that Terrence Crawford haven't been enrolled according to Vada since November of 2020. And where's the testing for Sean Porter? And Victor Conte's words, I can play it back right now, says, maybe it was no testing. This Victor Conti talking, Bernie. So you gonna come at me for creating a narrative, which I never did, but you're not gonna hold him accountable for talking? This is his words. He said this is a part of the protocol of his program. He recommended the teammates, the trainers, the camp members send him all of this information. The fighters send them all of this information. Bernie, why didn't you send it to him? Bernie, why didn't you take a picture of the DCOs collecting that blood after you opened the door for Vada and send it to Victor? You and Bomac. And since you saying that, what about the Sean Porter fight? Was Vada there for that, Bernie? What about the David Evanesian fight? Was Vada there for that, Bernie? We need answers. I find it intriguing, though. Let me ask this question of Bernie. He still haven't responded yet, and I'm sure people are watching from over there. I know you watching, Bernie. I know your whole squad over there watching me. I know you watching, Victor. I wouldn't be surprised if Terrence Crawford's watching either. And I salute you guys. I just have a question. There's no beef. Ain't no beef. Let's not make this into YouTube beef, y'all. This is no beef. I just need answers. The Roller Tape Film Crew members, they just want answers. The boxing community, they just want answers. That's all. We don't want no smoke. Let me show my face after this part here. We don't want no smoke on YouTube. But we ain't gonna duck smoke on YouTube either. Now, get back to my question at hand. As an undefeated world champion and good fighter that Bud is, why did he call Victor Conti to join the snack program? Interesting. It's a very easy question that I asked that requires a very easy answer. I never insulted no one. I never insinuated. I never created a narrative. I'm not being a sore loser because Errol Spence lost. I'm just asking the question. It's a very easy question. And I can ask Bernie that and Bomac because they're trainers. They're the trainers of the fighter, Crawford. And I acknowledge that he's a good fighter. I'm just trying to figure out, since they're the trainers, why did he call for my phone? Why did he call Victor? That's what I'm trying to figure out. It's just an easy question. You see, it's the question that no one else on YouTube has ever asked. But I asked the question, and I have gotten a lot of Terrence Crawford fans that have come up here. I've asked them the same question, and some of the Terrence Crawford fans have conflicted responses. One Terrence Crawford fan might say this, another Terrence Crawford fan might answer and say that. But I figure if I ask the people that's in his camp, in his stable, you know what I mean? Why not? Double salute to my guy, Matthew Thomas, my main man, Pots and Pans, member of the channel, supervisor of the Roller Tape Film Crew. He says, we want answers. You see, Bernie the boxer, I'm going to leave this on the screen for a while, if you don't mind, Matt. The people, they want answers. Let's stop saying that I'm gossiping and creating a narrative. That's not nice. Let's be honest and deal with what's real. The people are telling you they need answers and they want the answers. That's all I'm saying. Double salute to another member of the channel, supervisor of the Roller Tape Film Crew, 2 Cents Boxing. I got to ask you a question, 2 Cents, so stay right there. I want to ask you a question. I want to ask 2 Cents Boxing a question right after this. But that's all we want. We just want to know this question that's on your screen right now. The last, let me take Thomas' comment off real quick, Matt Thomas. As an undefeated world champion and good fighter that Bud is, why did he call Victor Conte to join the snack program? And the only reason I asked Bernie the boxer that question is because he commented right here. It's on your screen. I'll read it again. Why you mentioned me. And I just answered him. I mentioned you because you are a member of Team Crawford, and the title in the video says Team Crawford. And I actually mentioned your name as a team member because you have a recognized name from the Team Crawford. Okay? And Bernie the boxer says that Vada came to the camp house. I answered the door. I would assume you're talking about the Spence fight. That's what he's talking. Sound like that's what he's talking about. But I've been asking for evidence from the Sean Porter fight, which is the first fight in the snack program. David Ebenesian fight, which was the second fight under the snack program. You see what I'm saying? That's all we want to know. This is no gossip. This is no clout chasing nonsense. This is no trying to create a narrative. And he says if Bud would have tested bad, it would have came out. I'm confused there. How would it, hold up, Bernie, I'm not trying to be smart. How would it have came out, Bernie, if Terrence Crawford would have tested bad when Victor Conte said that smart cheaters know how to circumvent the test? If Victor Conte said that the testing is not foolproof. If Victor Conte said, when I asked him, how is it random if Vada's website says 8 weeks before the fight that the fighters will be tested, and you said, Victor Conte, in multiple interviews that stringent is once every 10 days of testing, but we know that certain illegal substances come out of your system within 19 hours if it's injected through IV and 24 to 36 hours if it's injected by needle, then how is that random and unannounced? If everybody knows when the testing is going to occur. And Victor Conte says, well, that's better than having no testing at all. These are the words of Victor Conte, a man that knows how to beat the test. And he told us one of the ways to beat the test. 2 Cents Boxing was here. Carl Brown was here. Matt Thomas was here. Lifeline Music TV was here. Gregory Quarterbomb was here. Uptown Boy was here. AJ64 was here. And some more people that's in the chat was here when Victor Conte said, one of the things that is happening now is that the cheaters are microdosing. These are the words of Victor Conte, the expert, the advocate. I can pull all of the evidence of his words up right now. That's what he said. So if he said all of that, Bernie, the boxer, how can then you turn around and say, if Bud would have tested bad, it would have came out? Well, apparently, Bud didn't test bad, and it still didn't come out. Think about that. If Bud would have tested bad, it would have came out. But Bud didn't test bad, right? And it still didn't come out. We still don't have the evidence of the welcoming letters from Vada that Victor Conte posted on Twitter. He posted Devin Haney's on Twitter that says, you have tested for all prohibited substances through Vada and your test results are negative. He posted Demetrius Andrade, right, on Twitter. How come in 2021 when Porter fought Crawford, he ain't post that? When Crawford fought David Ebenesian, he didn't post that. That's all I'm saying. I'm not talking about Errol Spence. See, that's what Bernie talking about when he says Vada came to the door and I answered the door for him. Why are you volunteering information? Nobody told Bernie the boxer to say what he said about Vada came to the camp house and I answered the door. Great. I'm glad you answered the door for him. But what I'm saying is that's for the Spence fight. But according to Victor Conte, PBC fighters have a muzzle rule. They have a muzzle rule. Let me put the quotation marks because that's what his words were. They have a muzzle rule, meaning that Vada and Al Heyman, this is all the words of Victor Conte, according to him, Vada and Al Heyman made a prearranged agreement that the PBC fighters would not be listed on the website to give Vada any type of promotion. Okay? That's what he said. So that nobody will know that the PBC fighters were tested. He said that's suspicious. Okay, well, Terrence Crawford with PBC now, right? Muzzle rule. So we're not expected for his welcoming letter to be published, right? With the Spence fight. But what about the other two fights when he wasn't with the PBC and there was no muzzle rule? We need answers. 2 Cents Boxing, while you're still here, let me ask you a question, 2 Cents Boxing. Because before when we was here the last time, 2 Cents Boxing said Eddie Hearn spoke on something about he's not a part of the promotion with this fight and stuff like that. Where 2 Cents at? She still here? Oh man, I think 2 Cents not here. Is 2 Cents Boxing here? Dang, I think Lucky was here last time. Carl, was you here last time? When did I go live? Monday? Yeah, I went live on Monday. Who else was here? I remember Lifeline Music TV was here. Oh, Diggle 2 Cents Boxing right there. She's here. 2 Cents. Remember when you said in the chat on Monday, you said Eddie Hearn stated that he has nothing to do with the promotion of this fight between Devin Haney and Ryan Garcia? Remember that 2 Cent Boxing before we went off the air on Monday? And I showed everybody a picture of this on your screen right now. When I said this is what's on BoxRec, and that's not true, that Eddie Hearn is listed as one of the promoters of this fight between Devin Haney and Ryan Garcia. Remember I put this on the screen, y'all? Some of y'all that was here on Monday? Okay, everybody's saying, yup. 2 Cents said, yup, she remember. Okay, anybody else remember this? Now I have a question for the people. Let me get the super chat from my man. Lucky McKinnell's, day one supporter of the channel. Thank you for your contribution and your support, Lucky. Lucky says, towards the bill. Thank you, Lucky, because you know we got bills. Thank you so much, Luck. Appreciate you, my brother. Y'all remember this on your screen? Now, watch this. All right, thank you, Steve. Steve, remember. Thanks, Steve. We take it off there. So my question now becomes this then. Well, let me put it back on the screen for the people, because I don't see Devin Haney or Devin Haney Promotions listed as a promoter of this on BoxRec. Oh, okay. I just want to make sure we're on the same page. What was Eddie Hearn doing at the press conference then? He had nothing to do with the promotion of this fight. Devin Haney and Bill Haney is their own bosses, and they got DHP, Devin Haney Promotions. What was Eddie Hearn doing there? Because we know why Oscar De La Hoya and Bernard Hopkins was there. This is because Ryan Garcia is being promoted by Golden Boy Promotions. So what was Eddie Hearn doing on that podium in New York on Tuesday? What was Eddie Hearn doing there sitting up on the table at the press conference? What was he there at the press conference for then? Why is his name listed as a promoter of this event? That's what I'm trying to figure out. You see, people don't want to deal with the realities. Thank you, Andre Smith. That's all it is. Be honest, because I know the business of boxing and I put it out there. And there's nothing wrong with it. Andre Smith. There's nothing wrong with that. You know, Andre said Devin Haney is under Eddie Hearn. There's nothing wrong with that. The problem becomes when Bill Haney and other people run around here talking higher and bigger than what they are. That's the issue that people keep on having. There's nothing wrong with being your own boss. We applaud that. Nothing wrong with protecting your assets. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with trying to reduce your tax liability through an entity. I help people do that. That's part of what I do for a living. There's nothing wrong with that. But stop making it seem like you don't have nobody else around and you doing all the hard work. Stop it. Y'all getting in these multi-fight deals with these promoters that got the relationship with the networks. Like you did a 3-fight deal with ESPN in Top Rank. Let me reframe that. You did a 3-fight deal with Top Rank. You ain't do no deal with ESPN. You did it with Top Rank and got paid by Top Rank as a fighter. It ain't no different with Eddie Hearn. I told y'all Monday, Eddie Hearn has an option, a contractual obligation to Devin Haney, and Devin Haney has a contractual obligation to Eddie Hearn. I told y'all that Monday. And some people called me a hater and didn't believe. Standard in boxing. If a promoter builds and invests in a contender and make that contender a world champion, standard in boxing. Standard in boxing. Promoter not going to allow an outsider who's not signed to the promotion company come over to their stable, beat the world champion, take the world champion's title after the promoter invested time, resources, and money and efforts to build this fighter up to be a world champion. For an outsider to come in, beat the world champion, take the world champion belts, and then just skate off scot-free. Even in wrestling, they didn't do that. Whoo! Where my wrestling fans at from back in the day? I don't watch WWE and all that now. I ain't watched that in years. But back in the day, y'all remember in the late 90s? Where my wrestling fans at? Because Vince McMahon was a professional wrestling promoter. Remember they call it the Montreal screw job? When Vince McMahon and Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels had that situation? It's no different. Y'all remember that, some of y'all, right? Vince McMahon had to get the title off of Bret Hart because he was going over to WCW. And he was not going to allow Bret Hart to beat Shawn Michaels at Survivor Series, take the world title that he probably wasn't going to drop after winning in Canada, and then go to WCW with the WWF belt. It was called WWF back then. That promoter, Vince McMahon, was not going to do that. So they had to find a way to get the belt off of Bret Hart. Not because Bret Hart was going to lack integrity, but because the man Bret Hart was going to sign with, Eric Bischoff, he was going to flaunt that in the face of the other promoter. I signed your world champion and we flaunting your belt, because he did it with Sandra Blaze, a.k.a. Medusa. And she was on national television at WCW after leaving WWF, and she threw the women's title in the trash. It's no different in boxing. The promoter is not going to allow no outsider of the stable to come over there, defeat their world champion, and just go scot-free and fight and flaunt the belt on another promoter's platform. It's not going to happen. You have to commit yourself. It ain't no different than what Al Heyman did with Terrence Crawford, Manny Pacquiao, and what ESPN did with Devin Haney. ESPN. Top Rank did through ESPN over there with Devin Haney. That's right. You want to fight Ken Bosis? We know you're going to beat him. But you're gonna run it back again. And then after that, we're gonna give one of our cash cows in the division, Lomachenko, a shot. You ain't gonna just walk out of here and just, nah, we ain't doing that. That's just standard in business. So of course Eddie Hearn was gonna make sure he put an option on Devin Haney after he beat Regis. That plan was in motion before they signed. That's my opinion. That last part was my opinion. All right then. Bottom line is, even if they didn't agree to that before they signed, they locked in the deal to sign back with him. All right then. Double salute to Michael Dangerfield. Thank you for your support and contribution to the channel, Mike. Mike says, I never seen a group of people that could easily dispel rumors with facts not do it, except Conti and them. He said he never seen a group of people that can easily dispel rumors with facts not actually do it, except for Conti and them. I totally agree with you, Mike. I do. Totally agree. So I asked easy questions that required easy answers. So I wanted to bring that back up to close the show, because Monday we left the show with 2 Cents Boxing's response and question about Eddie Hearn stating that he's not with his promotion and this is a Devin Haney Promotions event. And whoa. Relax, Devin Haney fans, relax. Don't come at me. I'm teaching you the business of boxing and using this as a teachable moment. That's all I'm saying. But we got to keep it real. Nobody don't have to say they the big dogs and we run everything and we bosses. Relax with that. Because it sounds like vain conceit. It's okay to be locked into an agreement. This is boxing. This is business. Okay? But let's be clear here. The promoters are looking at you, the fighter, as a commodity, as a product. Remember that. And that's just what that is when you sign directly with them. So that's where that's at. And hey, it is what it is. I'm going to try to come back on here tomorrow, y'all. Probably be later than usual. Got a lot to do tomorrow. Probably be later than usual. But I'm going to try to give y'all some live content tomorrow. Love to see you all again. Come on through tomorrow. I'll send y'all a without a notification. What you call that? I'll send y'all, you know how I do it through StreamYard? Put it up there first, like an hour or two beforehand. Yeah. So y'all can be prepared for the stream and everything. And yes, Andre Smith, I'll leave you with that. Yes, they are on a budget. Absolutely. All the promoters create a budget, whether it be through the networks or their own money, especially through the local levels. You know, but yes, always a budget must be created. Absolutely. You better believe it. Guess what I didn't do, y'all? I didn't pull up. I always say I'm going to pull up with the same. I always say I'm going to pull up the same way I'm missing my words. I'm going to pull out the same way I pulled up. I ain't even pulled up with my intro. Well, I got to pull out with it. But in the meantime and in between time, we need answers. Representing the business of boxing, ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it for Manager Marty. Thank you.